So yeah, today we're going to be reading Animorphs number 12, The Reaction. It's been a while since I've read one of these, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So, The Reaction. I think this is a Rachel book, my memory is fuzzy. 27 chapters. Hopefully I can keep the coughing to a minimum. Chapter 1. My name is Rachel. I won't tell you what my last name is or where I'm from. Here's what I can tell about myself. I'm tall for my age, maybe tall for any age. I have blonde hair, I like gymnastics, shopping, and a good fight with bad guys. Not necessarily in that order. People say I'm pretty, and I guess I'm okay. People say I'm self-confident, and I know that's true. My closest friends think I'm fearless, and they're wrong about that. People without fear are just insane. I have plenty of fear in my life. Some days I feel afraid from the minute I wake up to in the morning to my last nightmare at night. But the thing about fear is, you can't be afraid of it. I know that sounds confusing. I guess what I mean is, be afraid if you have to, right? Fear is like this vicious little worm that lives inside you and eats you alive. You have to fight it. You have to know it's there. You have to accept that you'll never get rid of it, but fight it just the same. Being brave is not about being unafraid. It's about being scared to death and still not giving in. That's all any of us can do. Any of us Animorphs. We just try to give in. In the middle of it all, in the middle of all the danger and betrayal and fear, we try to hold on to what's normal and good. Had to keep up with the homework, had to be ready for that pop quiz, had to still listen to music and watch TV and maybe go to a movie. You know what I mean? When you live in an insane world, you have to hold on to the little things. You know, that's a good lesson there, I think. Just holding on to the little things, trying not to be afraid and stuff. Or rather, trying to deal with the afraidness. Anyway. There are 6 of us. 5 humans, 1 not so human. There's me, there's Jake, my responsible cousin, Marco, my personal pain in the butts, Cassie, my best friend forever, Tobias, our first casualty, trapped forever in the body of a hawk, and Axial and all who survived their mission to Earth. It all began when Issa walked around an abandoned construction site at night. The 5 of us, minus Axe, were minding our own business, walking home from the mall. No one was thinking, hey, let's get ourselves in the middle of an interstellar war. I just want to get home, do all the normal things, maybe watch TV, check out some websites, listen to a favorite CD, do the homework, you know, normal stuff. But then a damaged andalite fire landed right in front of us, and from that point on, nothing was normal again. Because we're not alone in this universe. There are billions of stars and planets. On some of them, life arose like it did here. And on some of those planets, highly developed and highly intelligent life evolved. Just like Homo sapiens, humans evolved here. Out there are races like the elements who are so advanced make humans look as dumb as cows. And there are ones like Andalites who are still more advanced than us. You know, like a 10th grade is more advanced than an 8th grader, but still in the same zone of reality. There are races like the Harbinger, razor blade killing machines that everyone says used to be rather sweet, and the Taxons, well, what can you say about the Taxons? They're huge cannibalistic centipedes, not exactly good guys, not exactly nice. And then there are the Yeerks, who enslaved the Harbinger, who made a devil's deal with the Taxons, who spread for the galaxy like a virus, sacking one race after the other, enslaving and destroying. They're parasites. Gray slugs, really. In a natural state, you could step on one and squish it like a snail without a shell. But they have the ability to infest their species, to crawl and slither and squirm inside their heads. They flatten themselves out and wrap around your brain, sinking into every crevice. They tie into your brain and take it over and enslave the poor creature, making a controller. They did this to Harbinger, Geds, Taxons. All the Harbinger, Taxons, and Geds are controllers now. They even did it to one Andalite, but only one, luckily. And are doing it to humans. Hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of humans. Some taken against their will, some, believe it or not, became controllers voluntarily, and that's always the thing that made me maddest. Anyone can lose a battle, but to choose to surrender, to become a traitor, that's just sick. The Yeerks have a front organization they call the Sharing, especially like some kind of boy scouts, so they take girls as well, and adults as well as kids. Like a big family thing, you know, cookouts, raft trips, everyone's just one big happy family. But the reality is the Sharing is run by Yeerks, these are to learn by human society, to disguise their meetings, to recruit new members. I was wondering what lies they told people to agree to become controllers, and now I know. At least now I know what it took to get one person to betray his entire planet. I guess he betrayed me personally too, in a way. Not that he knew me, there are probably a million girls like me who crushes on him. I know what you're thinking. Rachel has a crush. Rachel? The person Marco calls Xena, warrior princess? Well, what can I say? Cute is cute. And cuteness is a very powerful force. And he was the cutest of all cute guys that ever showed a dimple. It was a shame what I had to do with him. It hurt me as much as it hurt him. Well, maybe not quite as much. But we'll get to the grisly stuff later. I'll start at the beginning. And oddly enough, it started at a zoo. I just love the implication she mauled this person, whoever it is, and we're just gonna get into that, I guess. Anyway, zoo. Okay, take care, Lucky. Hope work goes well. Anyway, oddly enough, it started at a zoo. Chapter 2. Field trip, 2 of the best words in English language. Our class going to the zoo at the gardens. I've been there before, and yes, Cassie's mom was a head veterinarian, so I could get it anytime I wanted. But who cared? Any field trip is better than sitting at a desk zoning out a blackboard, right? I mean, when I was younger, when I field trip to a factory that made bread and Twinkies, they didn't give us any Twinkies, but I care? No, because just being out, moving around, seeing new things, always better than hard desk chairs. But Cassie didn't agree. My mom's going up a little presentation on endangered species, Cassie says we saunter along. A presentation to us. We're in a big enclosed exhibit area, like a huge glass dome with all different habitats. We were walking along a slight downhill angle on a winding pathway between leopards and tortoises and kimono dragons and pythons. All the animals that couldn't be exposed to cold weather. I was enjoying myself. I'm sipping a Mountain Dew through a straw, checking out an occasional good-looking guy. Why do they have a python exhibit, asked Cassie. All they ever do is lie there. A snake may as well be a fake, could be plastic. And a leopard surely move around, give you dirty looks, but pythons? Worth noting that Xena often had romantic affairs half the time with women. Really? I didn't know that, but it makes sense. She thinks she has to be entertaining, I said to her about my mother's presentation. It's dangerous Mom tries to be entertaining. See, she thinks she has to be cool. She's just talking about the Fudgies or Snoopity Ticky Dog or Boys 11 Men or Nice is Neat. I like the other part I spraying Mountain Dew from my nose. Okay, the others I get, but what's Nice is Neat? Cassie looked guilty. N-I-N, you know, 9 Inch Nails. I wanted to get a new CD but I was broke, so I told my mom it stood for Nice is Neat. I grabbed her arm and turned around. No way, you? That's not something Marco would have thought up. Cassie looked to the ground, then she started laughing. Okay, it was Marco's idea. He said, what parent can possibly resist a rock group called Nice is Neat? See, Marco wanted me to get a CD so he could make a tape, and anyway, it worked. Cassie, when did you start taking advice from Marco? When you start taking advice from Marco, the end of civilization is very near. Besides, you and 9 Inch Nails even like the band? She made a face. Actually, they're a little depressed and grim and harsh to me, although it'd been perfect for my mood today. She shook her head, worried again. Anyway, I know she's gonna bring it. I'm just gonna say something like, saving endangered species is cool, like listening to Nice is Neat. I'll have to change schools. I'll have to move to another town. She grabbed Mountain Dew and took a swig. Why, Rachel? Why of all places should we go to do we go here for a field trip? Why would we have to come to my mom's work? Let me try that again. She grabbed my Mountain Dew and took a swig. Why, Rachel? Why of all places do we go on a field trip? Why do we have to come to my mom's work? She leaned against the railing, or rather, we leaned against the railing of the crocodile pit. About half the class had wandered on ahead. About half were still behind us. Now we're mixing with the class of yammering, noisy kindergartners all wearing name tags. I don't know, said Cassie, just a bad luck guy. In front of me, not 10 feet away, some dumb little boys climbing a railing. Hey, get down from there, you... Suddenly he was gone. Over the edge. Into the crocodile pit. The little boy screamed and suddenly everyone was silent. Then a split second later everyone was yelling again. Me, Cassie, adults, teachers, parent volunteers. Help, he just fell in. I couldn't stop him. I didn't even see. Tyler, are you alright? Cassie grabbed my arm and gave my attention. She stared in my eyes to make sure I heard her. I'll get help. Be right back. Don't do anything dumb, Rachel. Don't. She sprinted away. I leaned forward over the railing and I was pushing to get a view of the kid named Tyler, but no one could see him. He'd fallen straight down and rolled into a shallow alcove at the base of the wall. The way they had that set up was sort of an island in the middle. Around it was a motor stream or whatever you want to call it. Just below me at the bottom was a second dry area. I guess that's where the crocodiles went when they didn't want people staring at them. There were 6 crocodiles, all 6 living peacefully in a center island surrounded by water. They were all sleeping. They'd been still and boring as sleeping python, but now I saw one eye open. A large brown eye with a black slit for a pupil. It was sly, ruthless. The crocodiles moved for Kippy all over for help would come. Another croc opened his eye and turned his head toward the boy. Ah, man, I groaned. I took a deep breath. I had any marked him to take on a 15-foot-long crocodile. Not my grizzly bear, not even my elephant, probably. Even to save a life, I couldn't morph in public, either. Which left 2 choices. Do nothing and let the crocodile hurt the kid, or do something really dumb. I chose dumb. Look over there, screamed as loud as I could, pointing wildly. Her head turned to look. I jumped on the railing, bounced up like an amateur gymnast, and leaped over the edge branch of a fake concrete tree hanging in the pit. I grabbed a branch just like uneven parallel bars, only it tore at my palms. I swung and then dropped to a lower branch. I scraped my right forearm bloody, but I caught the branch, killed my speed, dropped the last 10 feet to the floor of the crocodile pit. Oh my god, that girl fell in too! No, she's trying to save the boy! Don't be a fool, someone yelled. Too late, I thought grimly. I sang on sand. The boy was behind me, shelter in sight. 6 feet of water separated me and the boy from 6 crocodiles. They're all awake now, interested, not sure whether they should come eat us or not. And that's when I saw the reason they weren't unsure. See, there weren't 6 crocs in the exhibit. There were 7. The 7th was lying just inches away, and he was large. Large enough that this big monster didn't want to share prey. The Earth's not going to make him mad by trying. He was huge. Oh man, he was huge. Nice crocodile, I whispered. He stared at me with brown yellow eyes and almost seemed to be laughing. Of course he'd be laughing. He'd only thought he had 1 human to chomp, and now he has 2. And then he charged. You would think something that big with stubby little legs could move fast, but he was honestly like lightning straight at me. I jumped in the air as a horrible snout snapped in the place where I'd been. I landed across his back, fell, and screamed wildly to get back on top of him. His tail thrashed like a bullwhip. He squirmed violently trying to throw me off. His huge jaws reached back, daring to come in range of his sharp, uneven, snaggly teeth. I had one hope, just one. I hugged his horned rough back, pressed my palms against him, and focused my mind on my willpower, and began to acquire the crocodile. Before he could acquire me. Chapter 4. Acquiring. That's what we call when we absorb the DNA of a creature. I acquired a crocodile, absorbing its DNA in my system, making it part of me. And as usually happens, the animal became calm and peaceful. Its tail stopped thrashing, it stopped trying to throw me off, but it turned its head and glared at me with one mean eye. I knew this peace wouldn't last long. But something else was happening at the same time. Every time I felt sick to my stomach while acquiring it. Sick like I'd swallowed some spoiled milk or something, and I felt a swarm of heat prickles all over my skin. But a queasy stomach and nerves released my problems. I rolled the crocodile up beside the boy. There was a bloody gash on his forehead. He was unconscious but starting to stir and moan. In seconds, the acquiring column wore off and the big crocodile lay back. His front teeth were within a foot. And up above, I could hear shouts and cries. People were rushing to help, but they wouldn't arrive in time. They couldn't even see us. Okay, Rachel whispered. Focus. Do this fast. But the changes began almost immediately. I saw it happen. I saw skin on my arms turn yellowish green and a dark one was black green. My skin began to crack. You know how the bottom of a dried out lake looks when the mud cracks and forms big patches? That's my skin. It has patterns of cracks right along my arms and up and down my back. I could feel the skin growing hard and crusty. It was soft but still stiff all the way down my front. It didn't hurt. Morphing doesn't, but there's still things I could feel. The thickening and hardening and cracking of skin, though my spine stretched and stretched longer and longer, making little strained bunchy cord noises. The shortening of arms and legs. My legs grew so quickly that I felt so short that I couldn't stand. I fell face forward in the sand. The big crocodile was staring at me now, or the little boy. He was coming too. His eyes flared. He moved his hands and legs. As he moved, I could see the big crocodile's eyes focus on him, on his prey. Then my face bulged out and out like an awful pimple. My teeth and gums itched incredibly as new teeth appeared and old teeth grew long. I could see my green scaly snout push ahead of me, and unbelievably long and array. I could sense the incredible power in those jaws. Okay, Rachel, get ready, I warned myself. I knew it was coming. As the physical change is complete, the crocodile mind would appear. It was part of the morphing. The mind instincts of the animal is just right alongside your own, and sometimes they can be terribly hard to control. Sometimes almost impossible. The crocodile brain didn't rush at me. It didn't do anything quickly. It was slow. Very slow, but a slow way a super tanker would be moving slowly, but impossible to stop. It rolled toward me in utter simplicity. No complex thoughts, no doubts, just hunger. Only hunger. Hello, Saku. Good to see you. I felt it bubbling up inside my own head like a slow-motion volcano. Resist! But the mind had evolved millions of years for the first monkeys that swung in trees. The crocodile mind survived unchanged while dinosaurs went to extinction and first birds flew. It was old and simple and clear, and it rolled across me, sweeping aside my fragile human thoughts. The crocodile knew 2 things. There was prey, the little boy, and an enemy, the big crocodile. My eyes looked at up sides of my head. It was good clear vision, not much different from my own. I could see all around at once. Just behind me on the left, something struggled and moaned. I could almost taste the blood in its veins and sense the heat. But just ahead of me is a big male crocodile like me, stalking the same prey. It was a simple equation, 2 crocodiles equal size stalking the same prey, either to fight the other or lunge for a prey before the enemy could act. I spun left fast as a snake, opened my jaws so wide my own snout hid part of my prey from view. For a second I closed my jaws and I scurried my little boy and sudden movement, I was being attacked. The big crocodile rushed me at amazing speed. I whipped my tail and turned to meet him. The momentum carried me off the sandbar into the water. Water. Now I could really move. The crocodile dived trying to get below me and rip open my soft belly. I squirmed and rolled, my tail flashed through murky water, and I snapped. My jaws closed on something and squeezed. Then pain, a sudden searing pain in my left hind leg. There was blood in the water. The other croc had my leg and I had his tail. We turned the water to firm foam, rolling and tightening our jaws. Slowly, like I was climbing out of a well, I felt my own mind and my Rachel emerge again. I was too stunned and exhausted by battle to resist the crocodile's cunning. It had the power of total focus. The power of simplicity. It killed and ate and didn't care about anything else. We rolled insanely into shallow water, two genetically identical crocodiles in a battle for dominance. Finally, Sue's mighty jaws are closing a human child. I saw flashes of horrified onlookers above, flashes of the child starting to crawl away. I saw flashes of a crocodile slithering toward the water. The take child, but the other two were busy fighting. I needed a wind to stay alive and needed as quickly to save the boy. I didn't think a crocodile couldn't do very well. I thought. I used my intelligence. I let go of the tail the same second I pulled my hind leg forward all my strength. A slingshot effect. The enemy crocodile shot backwards, saw his pale belly go by and struck hard and fast. He rolled away, defeated. I slewed to my right, cutting off crocodiles who were heading for the boy. Then I raced towards sand and moved out right aside of the crowd above. The boy backed away in terror. I had no choice. I had to take a chance. I spoke to him in thought speak. Hey kid, I'm a good crocodile, alright? Climb my back. Fortunately, he was a cool little kid, small enough not to question if the crocodile was talking to him. He climbed back like I was a pony. I slid into the water and carried him across the pile of fake rocks so he could climb to safety. Crocodiles can do a lot of things, but not climb. I raced back to Alcove and morphed back to human. Just half a dozen zoo trainers armed with tranquilizer dart rifles and nets came rushing in. The kid was safe, I was safe, and the big croc was okay after some surgery. So all in all, it was a pretty cool trip, and we never did hear from Cassie's mom and give her a presentation. So hey, Cassie's gonna be fine then. Chapter 5. I see, Jake said, so basically he's saying it was no big deal. You jump into an alligator pit, you... Crocodile, not alligator, Cassie corrected him. He hopped an eyebrow and she fell silent. You jump into a crocodile pit, mortal crocodile engaged in a battle so you get to eat the kid, end up carrying the kid on your back. You're feeling this all pretty cool? I shrugged to Cassie for support. She did save the kid, Cassie pointed out. She also came very close to showing the entire world what she really is, Jake said with a low, silky voice using it's really upset. After saving kid, you think my friends would welcome me as a hero, right? Wrong. Here's a scene. Me, Cassie, Jake, Marco, Tobias, and Axel on Cassie's barn, also a wildlife rehabilitation clinic. So picture cages that were stuffed with every kind of injured, sick, messed up raccoon, squirrel, duck, wild pig, bat, skunk, fox, eagle, and deer. Jake was pacing back and forth, what also does when he has a set. He's not a yelling person who's mad. He's a grinding his teeth, pacing, talking a slow voice kind of person. He's in charge, more or less. No one had elected him, but if we ever did vote, he'd get all of them, except his own. There's just never any question who was going to be a leader. Probably because we all know he's the kind of person who really wants to be a boss. He does it because he has to, but not because he makes him feel important. I probably think he's good looking, except he's also my cousin. Of course, Cassie thinks she's perfect. He's perfect. Cassie and Jake have a little thing going. Neither of them admits it, and they never really say anything, but I think no one else knows, but they definitely have a thing, trust me. Anyway, lounging on a big bale of hay was Marco. Marco is Jake's best friend. He's not the leadership type. He's very smart, but unfortunately uses his brain to make stupid jokes. Well, maybe not all of his brain. If he used all of his brain, the jokes would probably be better. He's cute, but not as cute as he thinks he is. See, if Hustle won't be as cute as he thinks he is, his ego's out of control. Then there's Tobias, up in the rafters with her head carefully combing his feathers with his beak. He's what the analysts call a nothit. That means a person who's trapped in morph. There's a 2-hour time limit on morphing. Stay more than that, you stay forever. Tobias used to be kind of a dweebish kid with crazy blonde hair and a dreamy expression, but now he's a red-tailed hawk. The expression's long gone, replaced by laser intensity stare of a raptor. He has to accept the fact that he's not fully human anymore. Inside he's still Tobias, but he lives in the wood and hunts for his food, and that has changed him. Then there's Cassie. Cassie's my best friend, although we're nothing alike. Cassie's probably the most capable, in charge, amazing person I'll ever meet. This is a girl who deals with school, practically has a full-time job helping her dad with a wildlife rehabilitation clinic, and handles all stuff he can deal with as Animorphs. I mean, who else can keep a B+ average while saving wild animals and fighting a war to Yerk Empire? And last and definitely weirdest is Axe. His full name is Axilmi Iskaroth Ishtil, which is what we could just call him Axe. He doesn't usually come to meetings, he has to travel in human form. He doesn't like going in human form because he thinks walking around 2 legs is dangerous. Since we're in the barn, he's back his own body now. His body is trained to a cool mix of bluish deer, human arms and shoulders. Definitely alien head. He has no mouth, 2 big semi-normal eyes on his face where eyes should be, and 2 extra ones stuck on short stalks on top of his head. And he has a tail like a scorpion, very fast and very dangerous. Normally we're in the barn, Cassie basically clean cages giving medications to skanky lizards or whatever. Skanky lizards. Okay. But I guess she felt like she had to help me defend myself, so she was staying there looking guilty and know she hadn't done anything wrong. Well, what am I supposed to do? I asked Jake. Let the little boy get chopped? Yes, Marcus said, speaking up. See, we're fighting to save the entire world, not one kid. And you and Danger's are trying to be the offspring of Xena, Warrior Princess, and Superman. Xena and Superman had a child? I didn't even know they were dating, Tobias said in open thought speak. I smiled up at him, but he couldn't smile back, of course. Then a whisper only I could hear, Tobias said, Rachel, ask Jake what he would have done. That'll get him off your back. I carefully avoided nodding and signing a whisper, and I said, Jake, if you think what I did was so wrong, what would you have done? He stopped pacing. The point is, secrecy is absolutely important. Jake, what would you have done in my place? Chapter 6. He scratched his ear, he grinned sheepishly. Just because I would have done the same thing doesn't make it right. I think Rachel's a real hero, Cass said. Rachel is brave. Bravery is a great virtue. And Marco rolls eyes at Axe. Thank you, Obi-Wan Kenobi, for that wisdom. Of course she's a hero. She's always a hero. Rachel can't stop being heroic, being stupidly brave like some nervous tick she can't control. But what's so called her morphing on videotape? That wiped a smile on my face. Much as Marco annoyed me was right. If someone had taped me, well, the Yeerks were everywhere. If they had evidence I morphed a crocodile, I know who and what I was. The Yeerks believe we're a highly trained group of Andalite warriors. They found out we're just human kids who I taught before we could blink twice. Okay, well, anyway, Rachel, you were very brave. You were very lucky. The reports say you fell into the pits as you're trying to see the kid. Everyone's focused on how amazing it was, supposedly a kid who could ride an alligator crocodile. The kid's gonna be on 5 different talk shows. Great, so I'm the idiot girl who fell in. The kid's some big hero. Just be glad it worked out well, Jake said. For a minute, I considered mentioning the way I felt sick when morphing a crocodile. I decided against it. Why give him something else to worry about? Remember that for later. Cassie raised her hand. Are we done yelling at Rachel? I have work to do. Jake laughed. I don't yell. I'm not anyone's parents. You tell him, Dad, Marcus said. We laughed and the tension was broken. For about 10 seconds, Jake said, hey, by the way, Tom said something about how Sharon's going to hire that kid from the Powerhouse as spokesman. That TV show, Marcus said. Huh, that's strange. I only have homework piled on my desk at home. Plus, I have a new Nintendo game. You know, the one where he stopped talking and just stared at Cassie and me. Probably because we were standing there with our mouth saying open. Oh, what's with them? Marco asked Jake. You look mystified. What is it with you two? Jeremy Jason McCullough's going to be endorsing the sharing, asked in a wavering voice. Jeremy Jason McCullough? And Cassie echoed in awestruck tones. Jake shrugged. Yeah, it's too bad, but it's not like anyone cares. Just some wimpy actor. I mean, it's not like he's Michael Jordan or something. What's an actor? Axe wondered. Or anyone else important, Jake concluded. He's just an actor. I mean, he's a dork. What's a dork? Axe asked. That hair, Tobias said derisively. I love his hair, I said. Plus, he's even shorter than I am, Marco said. The difference being that Jeremy Jason McCullough is cute, I said. He's more than cute, I said. He's the single cutest boy on the planet. He's in every magazine, I said. Teen, YM, 17. Wussy Weekly, Midget Monthly, A New Dork Times, Marco added. He and Jake exchanged a high five. I ignored him. I almost always do. So I made sure Jake was paying attention. I said, Jake, you're not getting it. But half the girls in my school will poster him in their bedrooms or in their lockers or both. He's the #1 cute guy in the country. He's like 20 websites just about him alone. If he endorsed Sharon, it'd be as if... I looked Cassie to help. As if the entire female cast of Baywatch endorsed something, Cassie supplied. Yeah, like that. Jake's smile evaporated. You're saying he has that kind of influence? He has that much power, Marco said. He has Baywatch level power? And Jeremy Jason McCullough became a spokesman for the sharing. They're signing up girls like crazy, I said. Then that's serious, Jake said. Yeah, Jake, it is. You have to stop this from happening. I guess Santa's sly as sidelong brands. Of course, we might actually get to meet him in order to save him. We have to do our duty, I said. I mean, for a starter to find out if he's already a controller or not. And we probably have to meet him to do that. And get close to him. Get very close. Absolutely. You two make me sick, Jake said. Chapter 7. Reruns of Powerhouse came on every night at 7, just like the news. I watched it with my two little sisters, Sarah and Jordan. Sarah's too little to care one way about boys, so Jordan was closer to my age. Do you think he's cute? I asked her. On a scale of 1 to 10, probably about 1,000. I nodded. Yeah, he's cute. You seem to hear that guy Marco, you know one who's cousin Jake's friend? Yeah, no, Marco said cautiously. I shuddered. Do you think Marco's cute? Sure. Jordan, do me the whole world a favor. Never tell him. As if. But you don't think he's cute as Jeremy Jason, right? Of course not. He's famous. Okay, well, let me tell you something. I thought there was some club you could belong to and mean you can meet him. What club? What club? What club? Well, that answered my question. I wasn't foolish to worry about what happened when Jeremy Jason McCullough came out for sharing. If anything, it wasn't worrying enough. If you think Jeremy Jason worked as recruiting girls on sharing, what would the Yeerks do next? I watched the show with a whole new outlook and knowing what I knew about one of its stars. Was it really possible someone like that could be a controller? No way. If I did happen to save for me taking my Yeerks, well... After dinner and after Powerhouse, I went to my room to attack my backed up homework. I had a paper due and it was supposed to be 5 pages long at least. I had maybe 4 pages of material, so I played with fonts and margin. My 4 pages could more or less fill 5. Then I had to print out my teacher wouldn't figure out what I did. Yeah, that happens a lot. Rachel, I'm running down to the store for some milk, my mom yelled up the stairs. You're in charge. I dropped out of the word processing program and logged on the internet. Oh, my window since it was warm out tonight and Tobias sometimes flew in the evening. That short checked out various websites of Jeremy Jason. Know your enemy, I'm under my breath. Not that I can really think of him as my enemy. I tried for several busy signals to reach my his actual homepage. My screen filled with pictures of the actor. Way too cute to be a controller, I said no one in particular. I scrolled down and found a button for his biography. It's 2 pages long. I printed it out and clicked on his scheduled appearances, slightly out of date. I scrolled down the page, then whoa. I started to scroll back, and there it was, the 24th. He was going to the Barry and Cindy Sue show on the road. On the road, right in our town for the week. 2 days from now, he's gonna be here. Here. I snatched at my portable phone. I speed out Cassie. He's coming here. Who? What? Jeremy Jason gonna be on the Barry and Cindy Sue show is going to town. No way. Oh yeah, definitely, yes. I'm going to start to click on their website and confirm no news, and now I feel like I couldn't breathe. I was too excited. I mean, I know it wasn't really cool getting all crazy about a TV actor, but he was my first crush back when I was 10. I took a deep, steadying breath, except I couldn't do it. My breathing was short, rough, like I was being squeezed. A swarming feeling of heat needles spread across my skin. This one about Jeremy Jason was definitely something wrong with me. I couldn't breathe. I sucked in air and pushed myself back from the computer, and that's when I noticed my hand. My right hand was green, a dark mottled reptile green. Chapter 8. What the? I know my left hand. It was green too, getting greener as I watched, getting rougher, changing, morphing. There were scales forming my skin, crawling my arms. I bolted from a chair and raced to my full-length mirror. My face started to bulge out of a huge, long, black-green snout. It's something you never actually want to see happen to you. Ah! I yelped. The swelling bulge open to reveal a row of long, yellow teeth. I started to say something, my mouth was longer huge enough to make human sounds. My legs showed as I watched helplessly. I fell forward on the floor. The huge tail surging behind me, I felt my spine stretching. No, I hadn't decided to morph. But I was, at warp speed. I was on the floor of my bedroom, turned to a murderous 20-foot-long crocodile. Morph out of myself, morph out. But the transformation continued. I was getting too big for the room. My snout was pushed into one corner, my tail stretched out under the bed and curled into a far corner. What was happening to me? If Jordan or Sarah, my mother, walked in, my secret would be out. Worse yet, I couldn't be sure I controlled the crocodile. It was hungry. Focus, Rachel, focus. Morph out, go human. But I wasn't morphing out. At least not back to human. Instead, I noticed a completely different kind of change. My body was narrowing in two places. It was cinching up. I was forming three different body sections of head, abdomen, and thorax. I was turning into an insect, and that's when I became afraid. See, it's impossible to morph straight from one animal to another. At least it's supposed to be, but I definitely was. And I wasn't becoming human again. I was still a huge crocodile. My massive crocodile head was under my body by a tiny, narrow neck. The air connected my squat body to a fat crocodile tail narrowed so much it was the size of a human wrist. This can't be happening, I cried to no one. This has to be a dream. But I had dozens, maybe hundreds of awful morphing dreams that had never been like this. I hear my bones squishing as they turned to water and disappeared. I could see the black-green crocodile scales turn dark brown, almost black, as an insect's exoskeleton grew over me like armor. Huge spiky hair shot like daggers on my back. My big teeth melted together, solidified, blackened, reformed on a long, vile tube. Two new legs spread over my sides, two spiky, multi-jointed legs. I knew all of these as a morph I'd done before, but never like this. I was on my way becoming a fly, but because morphing is neurological, I was a huge fly, becoming a fly and I got a chance to shrink. And then it kicked in, I was spiraling wildly downwards, went from 25 feet in length to less than a quarter of an inch. I wanted to scream, but who could help me? No one. No one. Suddenly my reptile eyes bulged and popped out like balloons. The world around me shattered into 1,000 tiny pictures. I had the compound eyes of a fly. My mind was reeling. This had to be some sort of nightmare. This was impossible. It had to be an awful dream. I was shrinking so fast the corners of the room would be racing away from me. The wood grain grew large and dark and clear. The cracks between boards were growing as wide as ditches. I noticed sickening lurcher as I stopped shrinking. I was growing again. The wood grain grew smaller. The cracks shrank and I grew. And grew. And grew. My extra legs were gone. I just had 4 now. 4 legs growing thicker and taller and thicker and taller. Oh, please, someone help me. Spring. The springs on my mattress popped as my bulk crushed him. I was too big for the room. Bigger than the crocodile. My bookshelves fell over. My desk slammed against the wall. Sparks shot from my computer and the screen went blank. Too big for the room. I was big enough to be weighed in tons, not pounds. I was morphing a full-grown African elephant in my tiny bedroom. Creak. Oh no, I whispered. I feel the floor literally shaking under my impossible weight. My head was shoved against the ceiling, and then crunch. With a scream of twisting wood, the floor gave away. A sickening drop in. Boom. Very suddenly, I was in the kitchen. Chapter 9. Crash, crunch. I staggered and fell against the wall of my room and an even bigger mess of the kitchen. It was chaos. Nothing made sense. My stove had sat a ridiculous angle with a 2x4 piece of lumber speared through the glass door. The refrigerator was open, all its contents spilling out. A gallon of milk glubbed all over the place. Sarah, Jordan, have they been in the kitchen? Hi, Mom. Oh god, no one could have survived being crushed under all this. Rachel! It was Jordan's voice. She sounded scared, but okay. My elephant ears told me she wasn't in the room. She made us out in the hallway. She couldn't see through the rubble. I couldn't answer. I didn't have a human mouth or throat. Could I get out of morph? I had to try. I focused my mind on my body, my human self, and slowly, at first and faster, began to shrink. The boards and sheet and rock I'm no longer pressing in so tightly around me. And all I could hear Jordan saying, 911, we have an emergency, our house fell in. I would have laughed. I wasn't sure if if I'd been sure if Sarah, my mother, was safe. Then I remembered my mother was out. That I loved Sarah. We only began to see the best sight in the world, human flesh emerging from the thick gray skin of the elephant. I was still on all fours as I see fingers beginning to grow from my massive elephant feet. Rachel, where are you? Sarah's voice this time must have taken the phone. I breathed out a huge sigh of relief. Yes, get her right away, please. I think my sister is trapped. My trunk slurped in my face and my tiny human nose behind. I cleared my throat. Can I talk yet? Jordan? Yes, that was my voice, my human voice. Rachel, is that you? Well, who else could it be, I asked. I didn't mean to sound sarcastic. I was scared having to get in a snippy when I'm scared. That's Rachel, all right, Sarah said. Are you okay? I'm bruised up, I said. I guess I'll live. I had been human form while the floor collapsed, I've been dead or on my way to a long stay in a hospital for sure. But if I'd been human, the floor wouldn't have collapsed in the first place. What was happening? Why the heck did I morph? I had a few minutes to think that over while paramedics and fire department, police, my mom, and every person in 6 blocks showed up. But there are no answers. I just morphed without wanting to. The fire department guys dumped me out of the rubble. They kept telling me not to worry. What'd they know? Had they ever turned into a crocodile? Did they ever have uncontrolled morphing? My mom was at home by the time they dug me out. She had a lot of yelling and wailing and hugging and crying. They had taken an ambulance to the hospital to get checked over. It was total ER for a while. I told them I was fine, but no one would believe that. No one would believe a girl who got trapped in a collapsing house still be unhurt. Then the TV station found out the same girl who, quote, fell into the crocodile pit. Survived an hour after that or answered really stupid questions by reporters who shoved cameras and lights in my face. Oh boy. I sat there in the hospital bed wearing the black leotard I wear for morphing, police surrounded by microphones getting jabbed at me. I kept thinking, man, my hair's probably a mess. How'd it feel to fall in a crocodile pit and have your house fall down on top of you? Not very good. Do you think you're incredibly lucky? No, if I was lucky I wouldn't keep falling, right? But you weren't hurt at your time. I think winning the lottery would be lucky. Having a house fall on me is not that lucky. Behind the camera saw from your face, Cassie. We locked eyes, all I could do was shrug. Do you have any advice for kids like yourself? Yeah, don't fall into crocodile pits and don't have your house fall on top of you. After that, the news people decided being sarcastic, they decided I had enough, which is good because I definitely did have enough. Sweetheart, are you okay? Mom asked her a million times once all the cameras are gone. Cassie up beside her. Yeah, how are you? Asking in a carefully neutral voice. I shrugged. I'm fine, even more fine if it wasn't suddenly the amazing falling girl. Unfortunately, Mom was not one of those people who talked to openly what happened, but Cassie was. I had to wait till we were alone. My mother laughed and ruffled my hair. You're amazing, Rachel. It's a miracle we survived. I think we should all be thankful. Thankful the house fell on me, a house destroyed. We have insurance. Plus, we probably get the mother of all lawsuits. I mean, the house shouldn't have fallen apart like that. We can go up to the builder, all the contractors and subcontractors, the city inspectors, the previous owners, She went on like that for a while, so Mom is a lawyer. But I get the feeling Rachel has a luck curse. I mean, I could see that. It certainly would look like it to everyone else looking in, for sure. Can we get out of here now? The doctors say you're okay, but the question is where do we go? Can you go back to the house and... Daddy! I saw him looming behind Cassie. My parents are divorced. My dad lives in our state now. I get to see him once a month. Most months, anyway. Hi, Dad. My mom said in her fake nice voice she uses. Hello, Naomi said in his version of fake nice voice, and genuinely said, how's my girl? I shrugged. No big dad, the usual day, and a little crocodile dive in the morning, a house falls on me. He laughed. My dad's cool. He's a TV reporter himself, but not the ones who've been driving me nuts. He's more like one of those 60 Minutes guys, ones who's very responsible and serious. At least on TV he is. In regular life he's not that way at all. I saw a report thing at the zoo. I caught the next flight. It never occurred to me before it's another bizarre scent the same day. Yeah, well, that's it for the week, though. I figure it's enough excitement. He laughed. My mom rolled her eyes. I think she's like my... Bleh. She thinks I'm my father better than her, but that's not true at all. Not really. It's just my mom's always around, unlike my dad. Where are you all going to stay? Asked my mother. At my mom's, I guess, she said. I remember she had until the one drives me nuts. My dad nodded simply. Well, I'm staying in town for a couple days. Thought maybe I'd run interference with Rachel. Keep the media off her. They seem to have given up on the story, Mother said daftly. He shook his head. Don't count on that. They're just trying to make their deadlines for late news. This is a good human interest story, but as a fellow poor, I might be able to warn some of them off. Rachel can stay with me, Cassie said. Oh, my mom and dad wouldn't mind. My father winked at her. Thanks, Cassie. He looked back at me. Look, Rachel, I have a suite at the Fairview Hotel. Why not stay with me till all is over? Room service, health club. Cool, I mean, is it okay, Mom? She looked grumpy. Well, it makes sense. I guess. Right then I realized what a wonderful, perfect golden opportunity just opened up in front of me. Dad, what you said about all talk shows when you interview me, wouldn't it be better if I created you just one show and the others would leave me be, right? Yeah, but sweet, you don't have to do any show. Get everyone off your back. I could do one, in fact, what do you think about the Barry and Cindy Sue show? I heard they're coming to town. My parents looked confused and I saw a realization dawn in Cassie's eyes. Barry and Cindy Sue, Mom said. Rachel, why do you want to do that? I saw Cassie just stare at me, her jaw hang open. She couldn't believe he didn't think about the whole Jeremy Jason McCall thing at a time like this. Well, Daddy, there's this guy, this actor, this, slightly cute actor. Okay, that's a good plan, though, because they get to confirm if he's a controller and everything, and and at least from her parents' point of view, she gets to maybe meet this guy she has a crush on. So it makes sense she'd try to do this anyway. It doesn't look weird. So she has a cover story, and they can do the things they need to do. Pretty smart.